Hi, welcome to Cooking with Cara. Today on this episode we are going to be making taco salad, which is something that is inspired by my NYU days. I remember in Kimmel, which was one of their dining halls, they had these salads that would come in these enormous tortilla bowls, and they would load them up with guacamole and sour cream and salsa, and they were called taco salads, and I loved them. And of course they weren't very healthy because you'd load on the guacamole and the sour cream and the fried tortilla bowl, so it kind of defeated the whole purpose of having a salad to begin with. But I thought today, why not make something reminiscent of that that's a little bit healthier. So first we're going to start by chopping an onion that we're going to be sauteing with the beef. That's going to be the meat of the salad. So we're going to chop off 2 ends of a small yellow onion, and then we are going to cut it in half, and then peel off the outer layer. As I've mentioned before, we're going to try and cut the onion with a little trick that helps keep it a little bit cleaner and more efficient. So you're going to cut slices almost all the way through the onion, not all the way through. So you still want one of the ends to be intact, because that'll keep your pieces all together. Then you're going to place your palm on it to keep it steady, and then slice through. Again, not all the way through to the other end, just till a little bit of the nub at the end. Then we're gonna slice all the way through, and that will give us our little pieces, which makes it a lot easier and quicker, so that there's less time that your eyes can water from cutting the onion. And we're gonna do the same thing with the other half. So slice through, horizontally, and then all the way through. And then once you get to the end, you can just chop up those pieces. Right. Great. Okay, so now we're going to saute all of this over the oven. We're going to heat up our pan over medium-high heat. This is a non-stick pan. I'm just going to add a little bit of oil just to give it a little something to sit in, but won't need too much, especially because the beef has, some fat in it also that will come out as it's cooking. So once that heats up, we're going to be adding a pound of lean ground beef. We're going to add the onions, and then we also have a spice mixture that we'll be adding, which is 2 tablespoons of chili powder, a tablespoon of garlic, and a half tablespoon of cumin, salt, and oregano. So that's going to help give it those kind of Mexican taco flavors that you're used to. Okay, so now that our pan has heated up, we're going to add the onions and the beef to the pan. So in go the onions. And the beef. And what you're going to do with the beef is you're just going to use the back of your spoon to help break it up into pieces, because you obviously don't want it in a big chunk like this. And this will take about 10 minutes until all of the beef is browned and the onions are translucent and cooked through a little bit. So the beef has browned pretty nicely now. It's been just under 10 minutes. So what we're going to do is we're going to add the spices and 3/4 cup of chicken broth, and then we're going to cover it just so that all the spices can get in there and it can finish cooking and be really nice and flavorful, but not as fattening as the NYU taco salad I used to have. So those are all the spices, which I mentioned earlier, and you can also find the recipe for that on my blog. And then in goes the chicken broth. I'm just going to stir that up quick just to distribute the spices evenly throughout the meat. And then I actually don't have a cover big enough to fit this pan, because I don't have room for all that stuff in my little apartment. So I'm just going to use some tin foil to cover it up. And then we're just going to let this simmer so that most liquid evaporates. And then we are going to assemble the rest of the salad. Alright, so the beef has finished cooking now, and so we're going to assemble the taco salad. So I've already have a Tupperware here with some lettuce, romaine lettuce that I washed and chopped up. And what I like to do for lunch is assemble everything on a Sunday. So I have all of my vegetables chopped up. All I have to do is the night before come home, put it in some Tupperware with everything. I don't have to worry about chopping up and cooking something new every night. Everything's already prepared for the week. So that's what I've got here. I have my lettuce, I have tomatoes that I chopped up, I have some avocado that I chopped up, but I also tossed it with some lime juice because the citrus helps it from browning. So by Friday, if you didn't have the lime juice, this would be gross brown mush. So the lime juice is key to making sure that your avocado stays nice and green. I also have some cilantro. I know people hate cilantro, love it, hate it, so it's up to you if you want that in there. Also some black olives and some salsa, but you could obviously put cheese on this, sour cream, guacamole. I tried to go a little bit lighter, so these are my toppings for the week, but you could pretty much do whatever you like on your taco. So now we're gonna assemble everything. So we have our lettuce, and then I'm just gonna add some of the beef with the onions. And it's not the worst thing if you get some of the juice that it's cooked in, because that'll kind of almost act like a dressing. Since we're not really putting a salad dressing on here, that'll give it a little bit of liquid to kind of coat all the vegetables. And it has all those good flavors and seasonings in it. So we have the beef. Now we're just going to add some avocado. Brighten it up a little bit. And get that guacamole quality without being overly heavy. And some tomatoes. I used Roma tomatoes for this. They're not as juicy as a regular tomato, which is kind of good because sometimes you can get tomatoes and the juice will kind of get your lettuce soggy, which isn't necessarily a good thing. So I used Roma or plum tomatoes for this. I'm going to add a little bit of salsa. Again, this will kind of act like the dressing since we're not using your traditional salad dressing in this. And then some black olives. And finally, we're going to top it with some cilantro. And that is your taco salad and my lunch for the whole week. I hope you enjoy, and good luck making your taco salad.